Hey there. Okay, I am using Counterculture Artist Resin Medium Viscosity, the green and yellow label. Equal parts A and B. I wanted about 10 ounces or so, and so I used two 5-ounce cups. You do it by volume, not by weight. And when I measured on the scale, it says about 12 ounces, but you don't do it by the weight. So I've mixed it for about 5 or 6 minutes. I've got an old silicone mat that I had done coasters on a while back, and the silicone mat is kind of bunched up a little bit, so hopefully it will stay flat enough for the coasters to do what they're supposed to do. But today I have cut up some confetti in here, and it's really hard to get the pieces apart with your fingers in resin any way you put it. And I have these here just for weight because it was kind of buckling in the middle. But what I'm gonna do is just put a little resin down in each mold. And I made the mold with just silicone waterproof caulk. It's in my Amazon link. So I'm going to pour just enough to kind of give it a base. If I need to add more resin afterwards, I can. Right now I'm just concerned about getting the confetti to stick and be able to spread it out. I want full coverage on the confetti. And I did the beautiful bowl, and there were some parts that I couldn't separate the cellophane. It just was too stuck together. And so this time I'm trying to do it where I lay out the confetti in a little different manner, just to see if I can get full coverage. These are a good 5-inch around. They're pretty large for coasters. My plan will be to put a gold edge on them. I think that will be a very, very pretty, like I did the bowl. So basically I'm just kind of scooting it around at this point. Then I'm going to set the rest aside for a minute, and I want to pop the air bubbles. You can also use alcohol and kind of spritz it if you need to. I've got a few areas where I can see the mold, so just making sure I have enough. Sometimes you have to kind of stand in different angles so that you can see through the light reflections and things like that. So I'm going to fast forward through the confetti part because it takes a while, so you can just watch. Okay, these have set up for 4 or 5 hours or so, and I want to add more to make it a little bit thicker. And I didn't get full coverage with the pieces because, again, it's kind of difficult to just because of the magnetic and it flying around and sticking to itself. It's kind of hard to, you know, place it. So I've got 4 pieces and I've cut out just a generic circle. Well, I've drawn a generic circle of about the size of the coaster, and I'm going to cut out 4 circles. I crinkled it because when you crinkle it, it gives it more of that effect. So I'm cutting away just a round circle, and I am also not letting the black line show either. These don't have to be a perfect fit for the mold, just enough of a round shape. And I'm going to get just a paintbrush that I really don't use, so I can just throw it away. And I'm going to, instead of glue, I'm going to use this varnish. So let me see how one of those does before I go any further. Okay, so I have finally put multiple coats of resin over this mother of pearl iridescent opal holographic film. So one side has a very crinkled effect and the other has the more of the pieces effect. I don't know if you can really tell in this lighting. I'll also, this is studio lighting, and I'll also show it in the daylight. So these were my Freeform coasters done on a silicone mat that had it wasn't totally flat, so I've got a few little waves, very slight waves, but that's okay. They're still flat. They're a good 5 inches or more round, and I've gone around the edge. I like to use this Deco Color Premium Prime. It's a gold, and I go around the edges on both sides with the pen. So I just get it started, and this is very freeform, very irregular, and kind of organic because I used the silicone caulk as my mold, and I did not make it nice and neat, so it's got kind of layered edges. I'll show you just in a second what I mean. So I'm just going around the tops and the bottoms, which I've already done the other side. Yeah, there's even a little holographic film that's poking through here and there. Okay, but it's kind of rough, and I can't do the edges with the pen because it's not a flat edge. So, like I said, I did the edge with the gold pen, but if you can see, it's kind of ridges and organic and kind of haphazard. So that's where I take my liquid gold that's in my Amazon link and some gold gilding liquid, and I've put them together because the liquid gold is kind of thin and the gilding liquid is thick, so this kind of makes it a happy medium. And then let me stand up so I'm closer to the I'll let that paint just kind of seep into those ridges. And I've just got a well-used brush, not a special one. I don't really want a good one because this is oil-based and I'm probably going to throw it away when I'm done. I have lots of those brushes that are really kind of worn out, and this is the perfect time to use something like that. So like I said, there's multiple ridges, and I'm just kind of going around and covering all the clear, iridescent, I want it kind of, I don't want it, fancy and perfect. I want it irregular and freestyle. So like I said, this gilding is really thick and the liquid gold is thinner. So between the two, they're kind of a perfect mixture. Wool-based. I've got my paint thinner here in case I need it. And even if you have some little holes, you can kind of let the paint kind of seep in the holes. So it's very irregular and rough, which I like. It gives it a lot of texture, and it's not like out of a perfect mold. And if I need to go over some of the gold that I've already done with the pen, I can. So I think I have pretty much all the little crevices filled in. Sometimes you go back and you kind of see through in areas and you just kind of add. So I did my first layer, took it out of the mold, and then I added some on top and kind of did a flood coat, and it went over the edge and I had to kind of cut away and then do another flood coat. So I've got 3 or 4 flood coats to finish this out, but they were pretty thin to begin with anyway. So again, there's the kind of the crinkled side that's one sheet over, and then on this side it's multiple layers of pieces, and it's very pretty and stunning. And I'd like to also get it out in the sunlight for you to see if I can get a sunny day tomorrow, because it's nighttime right now. And with this being oil-based, you have to let them dry for a bit. And if you see anything, this is where you kind of check out different lighting angles, and then you can always add more after it dries. It dries pretty quickly too. So the resin is heat resistant. This is oil based, so I don't worry about sealing the edge, because pretty much you're going to be, your glass or cup is going to be in the center of this and not really near the edges, and it's oil based anyway. And if I were to need to clean anything, I would clean it with paint thinner. So I always keep a can of paint thinner around for this kind of stuff. Nothing else, it gets on my hands like crazy if I'm not careful. So I've got some paint thinner on here, and you know, I just take off what's left on my hands and then wash my hands really, really well before I touch these coasters again. And like I said, I'll probably dispose of that brush. So you just get little bits and pieces of gold from touching your coasters. So what I'll do is I'll take my gold leafing bottle, and there's different brands, but they all work really about the same. And I'm going to take what I had poured from my cup and try to put it back in the bottle, just because it's like precious metal, you know? So if you have one that's too thick and one too thin, you can combine them because they're both wool-based, and that will work. Just like combining a couple of acrylic paints, you can mix colors and get whatever results you want. So when you make your own silicone forms, you know, you can make it whatever shapes and sizes and everything else. So these may be spoken for. I did a little tester area on another coaster, tried a small one and showed somebody, and she really liked it. So these may be spoken for. I've also painted 8 44-inch by 20 flags from different countries and North Carolina for a project for a client, and I've spent about 25 to 30 hours on that. And of course that's not videoed, but I may show a video of the finished flags at the end of one of my videos, this video or maybe another one, so you can stay tuned for that. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. This cellophane is the bomb. It's so beautiful, and it looks pinkish, but when you crinkle it, it makes it so, well, this is the cut side, and then the crinkled side is a more refined and smaller, but it's rainbow prismatic. It's really gorgeous, and it almost looks like abalone, opal, you know, that kind of thing. So very pretty. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.